Lads, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. My name is Ingood Nick, and in today's video we're going to be looking at where we need to strengthen to keep improving this overachieving team of ours. So first off, it's quite clear to see we haven't scored enough goals this season. And I think the fact that John Fleck is joint top goal scorer with 5 goals just says it all. We've scored 30 goals in 28 games, which is just over a goal a game. And compared with others in the Premier League, it's nowhere near. We're 7th in the Premier League and only 5 teams have scored less goals than us. Now that obviously proves how good our keeper and defence have been. But we either need to bring in a striker that's going to be playing sort of 30 games a season at least, or a striker that's going to score us 10 plus goals. Because other than that period when McGoldrick and Mousse were playing really well together, it's been a bit hit and miss up front. But I know what you're going to say, it's so difficult to find a striker that's going to score that many goals in the best league in the world. Lots of bottom half of the table clubs have spent loads and loads and loads of money on these sorts of strikers. And more often than not, they don't work. They're mostly brought in from countries like Germany, Spain, Italy, but it's clear to see our league is probably the hardest league to score goals in. But I do think Wilder made the right choice in bringing kind of top-end championship players into the Premier League to see if they can hack the step up. Now I think some are getting used to it and some aren't quite there yet. But it's not just about hacking the Premier League. You are a striker, you've got to be scoring goals. I think that if Moose was fit and injury-free, he would be that striker. Because he's proved in parts this season that he's good enough to run rings around most of the Premier League. But at the moment, it just looks like he can't play more than kind of half a game, 30 minutes. But if we could get him fit and playing for at least 70, 80 minutes, then that guy could be a 30, 40, 50 million pound striker. No joke. But if not, we're going to have to find someone very, very similar to Moose. Again, I know it's going to be difficult, but if anyone can bring in a player like that, it's our recruitment team. Next up, Wilder's really got to keep an eye on that goalkeeping situation because we've got no control over it. Dino will want to go back to Man United and dethrone De Gea. But at the same time, if they're not willing to let De Gea go, Dino's going to get frustrated. And there's a chance that we could get a small fortune accepted. Either way, I think Wilder will be putting a list of names together. But in my opinion, it depends on the teams that get relegated. Because at the moment, round the relegation zone, we've got Watford, who've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league at the moment. Ben Foster has been incredible. He's been so good because he's just had a pummeling. And fair enough, they were bottom of the league for a lot of the season, but Ben Foster was the main reason that they're not relegated already. The problem is Ben Foster is now 37. It might be in the form of his life, and he might still be good for a couple of seasons, but it's not a very long-term plan. Then we've got Bournemouth, who are third bottom, and obviously they've got Aaron Ramsdale, who came from us. It looks like he's getting better and better and better, and if they go down, that may be a really good goalkeeper to go for. He's young, he's getting better and better with every game, and he may want to come back to Sheffield. And finally, we've got Aston Villa, who is second bottom, and Tom Heaton. Excellent goalkeeper who was excellent for Burnley. And he's done alright for Aston Villa this season, and he's definitely got some more years left in him. However, my first choice would be Dean Henderson, but the problem is if Man United want 25 to 40 million, I don't know if Wilder will want to spend that. Especially when he could get one of these for 5 to 10 million. Maybe Ramsdale might be a bit more, but he's not going to be anywhere near Dean Henderson money. But a lot of things have got to play out before we can kind of start talking about this. So in my opinion, those are the first 2 positions we need to be looking at. But the next position I think we need to look at is a backup for George Baldock. Because who do we have at the moment? We've got Kieran Freeman, who I don't think is good enough for the Premier League. We've got Bash. We don't really want to be playing Bash at right wing back. And Jack Rodwell, but I think he'll be off at the end of the season. Also in the midfield, we've brought in Sander to battle it out with Lundstrom and Norwood. But whereas Norwood and Lundstrom have both proved that they're good enough to be playing Premier League football, Sander Berge doesn't seem like he's used to the speed of the Premier League. So if he doesn't get used to it next season, we may be looking for another lad in there to battle it out with them all. Now there's also a bit of a possibility that clubs with, let's say, bigger pockets could come in for some of our better players. The 3 players I'm most worried about are Ender Stevens, Jack O'Connell and John Egan. Everton were already rumoured to be looking at John Egan anyway, so they may go for him in the summer. So even though we don't want him to go, and I don't think they'll go right now, we've just got to keep his minds a bit open that this could happen. It's happened to us a lot in the past, hasn't it? Maybe Panos Retsos could fit into one of those positions. but I just don't think we've got good enough replacements in them positions right now. So to sum up, like every single team in the Premier League, we need a striker to score goals. Preferably a quick one, because we've not got much of a quick team other than Moose and Zivkovic, I think. And ball luck a little bit. Maybe someone to challenge the lads in the midfield. Maybe we're not going to be looking at an attacking midfielder like Wilder brought in Freeman, but a box-to-box midfielder and possibly a defensive midfielder we may look at. We obviously need someone to cover for George in case of injury or suspension. And finally, we need a long list of goalkeepers just in case Dino doesn't happen. So thanks for watching. It's only been a short video, but I felt like it was something that we needed to talk about, or maybe just anything to talk about really. Nothing's happening. If you haven't seen my Blades quiz, it's on the screen right now. I'm going to be doing more in the future. Well, maybe one in a couple of days. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay good, Nick.